Okay. Y'all ready? Good afternoon. Let me begin on a solemn note. I was just with Troop G of the Pennsylvania State Police in Bedford, out in the western part of our Commonwealth, visiting with them after the tragic incidents of this weekend. I want you to know we are keeping Trooper Rougeau's family in our thoughts and prayers, and thanking him for his service to this Commonwealth and for the brave sacrifice he made this weekend. We're also thinking of Lieutenant Wagner and his family, especially his wife Cindy and his 3 children, John, Jake, and Eden. I gave Cindy a hug this weekend and at the hospital, and I told her we are all praying for Lieutenant Wagner, all 13 million Pennsylvanians. We wish for him a full and speedy recovery. And I say to all of our law enforcement and first responders who are with us, thank you for your service every single day. We know you run toward danger when the rest run away, and we thank you for all that you do day in and day out for our Commonwealth and our country. Since I last provided an update on our progress and our expected timeline, the hard-working men and women of the Philadelphia building trades have continued their good work, making, as you can see behind me, significant progress toward reopening I-95. I wanted to return to the site today to provide another update on the work that's been completed so far and to talk about the next phases of construction that you and the public will see over the next several days. On Saturday, I talked about how crews here on the site were pouring that aggregate into the gap to build it up to the surface level of I-95. And as you can see behind us here, that work is now complete. And now we're moving forward in the next steps of this process. Right now, behind me, cranes are lifting the large outer barriers into place along the new roadway. Once that is complete, and we expect the east side to be complete tonight, then we'll add a layer of what's called modified subbase to hold those barriers in place. And then we'll begin on the west side tomorrow. After that, weather permitting, we'll be ready to begin paving and then striping the lines for 3 lanes in both directions, northbound and southbound. Once we are ready to pave, the Pennsylvania State Police, under the leadership of Colonel Paris and Captain McShay, who joins us today, will again escort trucks carrying the pavers up I-95 to make sure they get here safely and swiftly. I think it's clear to anyone watching, especially those watching on the live stream at a Philly bar, that we have made tremendous progress over just the last few days. Think about this. In 9 days, these folks behind me here have completed the demo, built the entire structure for the interim roadway, and begun installing these barriers. That is all due to the incredible work of the women and men of the Philadelphia building trades, our contractors, led by the great Buckley and Company, and the exceptionally talented team at PennDOT, led by Secretary Mike Carroll. As I said when I was here last Wednesday, this team is the best in the world. This is the team I want to be on the field with, and this is our championship. They build things safely, and they build them the right way, and they get the job done. And let me be clear, nothing gets in their way. This weekend, they worked through the pouring rain. Just yesterday, they worked through the scorching heat. They have worked literally around the clock, 24/7 in 12-hour shifts. And while so many Pennsylvanians were enjoying this holiday weekend, celebrating Father's Day with their families, these hard-working Philadelphia buildings tradesmen were out here on the job, working their tails off to get this road reopened as quickly as possible. And I want to say a special Happy Father's Day to every father who was working on the bridge this Sunday instead of being with their families. On Saturday, I flew over this site with President Biden, And then I announced with him and the mayor and others by my side that we would have traffic flowing again on I-95 within the next 2 weeks. Based on the tremendous progress that we have made over the last 72 hours and the time it takes to complete the remaining steps, I can confidently state right here, right now, that traffic will be flowing here on I-95 this weekend. This weekend. We have moved with all possible speed and precision at every level of government. Let me again thank the President of the United States, the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, and all of our federal partners who have spared no resource to help us get this done. We brought together federal, state, and local agencies together with our contractors, our suppliers, and our workers. I want to say a special thanks to Mayor Kenney, whose active hands-on leadership here, making sure everything we needed from the city, every issue that was needed to be addressed in the city was addressed because of Mayor Kenney's leadership. Mayor, we thank you and your administration. Everyone has worked around the clock to get this done, and we have completed each phase of this project safely and way ahead of schedule. You know, the experts that first day on Sunday told us it would take months to reopen I-95. We are now on track to open I-95 in just about 2 weeks after the collapse. We're showing the rest of the country that Philly and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we're tough. We're showing them what we are all about. We're showing them our grit and our resilience. We're showing them our ingenuity and our hard work. This is what it looks like when we all work together. This is what it looks like when government comes together to get the job done for the good people of our city and our Commonwealth. This is what it looks like when cops and construction workers work together. This is what it looks like when the ingenuity of Delco meets the grit of Philly and we work together to get it done. This is what it looks like when we all come together. When we're tested and when the eyes of the nation were on this site right here in Northeast Philly, we all rose to the occasion together. And we showed that we can do big things again here in this city and in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And this section of I-95 behind me is proof of that. This weekend, you'll have less time in traffic and more time with family and friends. This weekend, our struggling local businesses here will hopefully be filled again with great patrons ready to enjoy their food and their beer and all the services they provide. This weekend, our commuters will finally be able to set their Monday morning alarm clocks back to the regular time because they won't have to spend extra time in detours. And this weekend, Secretary Mike Carroll will finally leave his temporary digs inside that truck and go home for a very well-earned rest. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our great Secretary of PennDOT, Secretary Mike Carroll. Secretary.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll take a minute today to answer what I see on the internet and in social media, questions relative to the recycled glass aggregate. I think it's important for folks to know that that glass aggregate is not new. It's been used in Pennsylvania for 7 or 8 years, underneath I-95 in various sections already. Beyond Pennsylvania, that glass aggregate is used in Maine, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Virginia, and as far away as Arizona. Those states, like Pennsylvania, recognize the quality of the product and its uses in certain applications like this. In fact, in Rhode Island, the application there was to a depth greater than what's behind me. And I'll offer this as well. Each one of those panels that are being raised and set on that structure weigh about 13,000 pounds. A vehicle, traditional sedan, about 3,000 pounds. The totality of the weight from the barriers will be about 400,000 pounds, far in excess of any truck that will traverse the new structure. I have 100% confidence in its ability to withstand the traffic that's on that facility once we open it, and I know that, like these other states, It will work just fine in Pennsylvania as it has for the years that we've been using it. We have wonderful aggregate choices in Pennsylvania. There are traditional aggregate options that we use. In this application, because of the unique circumstances, this was the right product. It's safe, it's sound, it's ready to go to work. And I will stop there and say thank you to all the folks that have worked so hard. I've had a chance to witness their wonderful, skillful talents. I'm thankful to the Philadelphia Fire Department and Police Department, the Office of Emergency Management, those folks like the folks at PennDOT in District 6 and in Harrisburg and our consultants, working behind the scenes, but in coordination with all the efforts to ensure successful completion of this project. And having cited the Philadelphia Police and Fire and Office of Emergency Management, I'll bring forward their wonderful leader, Mayor Kenny.
I thought he was calling Dominic up. Thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you, Governor, for returning again to Philadelphia as we continue to recover and rebuild from the disastrous collapse of I-95 last weekend. And thank you to Secretary Carroll, who's actually become an honorary Philadelphian.
Happy to have it.
So thank you for all your hard work. We are so grateful for the steadfast support from the Governor's office and PennDOT. The remarkable response and dedication of federal, state, and local partners has been nothing short of astounding. And I'm equally impressed by the hard work of construction crews who have labored nonstop through the holiday weekend to get this done for the city of Philadelphia, our state, and for our country. I'm proud of the work that we are doing together. If you've been watching the live stream, you've seen significant progress has been made, as you can see behind me. This is not easy work, but together we are making great progress thanks to a clear shared goal, because we all know the impact that this collapse is having on workers, travelers, businesses, and families. And I'm grateful that we've made so much progress and expect a reopening, as the Governor said, this Saturday, Sunday, which will alleviate the challenges for this area of our city and the many people who travel through on a regular basis. So thank you again, Governor and Secretary Carroll, for your immediate response and prioritizing this project. I also want to take a moment to recognize all the incredible people behind me representing almost every department in the city, our wonderful state police, and all these construction men and women who work hard and work skillfully to get this done. I want to thank everyone involved. So I want to thank everyone here for their hard work and support. I am proud of what we've accomplished together. I look forward to our continued partnership as we work to finish this project. And again, Governor, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you. All right. With that, we're happy to take a few questions. Rosemary?
Can you pinpoint whether it's Saturday or Sunday or to be determined?
It'll be this weekend. The paving is going to require about a 12-hour sort of window of weather, and so depending upon when we get that started, we'll be able to give you a more precise time this weekend, but we're confident we'll hit this weekend.
Governor, can you talk about, this is obviously a temporary fix, can you talk about a more permanent fix, what the timeline of that is going to be?
PennDOT's already working on that. We're going to have 3 lanes north, 3 lanes south. Traffic's going to be flowing. While that's happening, we'll be rebuilding the bridge from the outside in. There'll be no disruption to traffic. There'll always be 6 lanes moving during that process. We'll be able to give you an updated timeline on that as soon as that process begins.
What about the exit to 95 at Coppin? That's closed. Ridge Street is closed.
We'll get that all reopened when the process is done. Tom, did you have a question?
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, brother.
From the 26th Ward, 16th Division, all west and south coast.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're up there too.
Let me tell you something.
You're doing a great
These
job.
guys are doing a great job behind me. They're the ones.
Great job.
Thank you.
Governor, can you say when the construction from the outside in is going to begin?
We're going to give you.
Kenny.
We're going to.
And we love Kenny too.
We love Kenny too.
And we love the person.
As soon as we get this reopened, then we'll be happy to give you a timeline on the permanent bridge fix.
Do you have an update on the cost of all this? I heard Administrator Batten tell a Senate committee last week that $3 million they gave was about a 10% down payment, so that would be about $30 million.
Let me give a kind of 40,000 foot, and then the Secretary can correct anything I say wrong. Administrator Batten estimated it's between $25 and $30 million. And the bottom line is the federal government, through the President, Administrator Batt, Secretary Buttigieg, have made clear they would cover the full cost. As soon as we have a full cost, we'll be happy to share that with you, or our federal partners will.
Governor, I think everyone is surprised and pleasantly about the lightning speed this happened. What I keep hearing online, maybe you have as well, is Why can't this happen with every project? Are there any lessons learned about how fast it can go and the speed of this on other projects?
I guess the first thing I'd say, and I push back on you with the utmost respect, the fact that you're surprised, and again, I mean this respectfully, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, the fact that you're surprised and that others have said they're surprised, I think speaks to the fact that we haven't always had a can-do attitude around here. That we can get big things done. We can get it done quickly and safely. We can see a crisis and we can manage it effectively. We're able to do that because of all these folks behind you. From our first responders and fire who got the fire out right away and secured the location, to our police who worked to make sure no one other than the truck driver was injured or lost their life, to these building trades folks led by Ryan Boyer who said, we're going to go out there and get this done. This is a can-do town, and I'm a governor who believes we can get big things done again. We are going to make sure that we change that attitude of people being surprised to folks expecting excellence from us, because people behind me, they're excellent, and they're always up to the task.
Shapiro, what can you tell us about communications with the driver, Nate Moody's family, and the trucking company?
Can I ask you to repeat that? I said it hard.
What can you tell us about communications between you, your office, and Nate Moody's family, the driver, and the trucking company?
I think that's something for the state police to comment on, and I'm not sure they're prepared to do that at this time. Obviously, there's an investigation underway at the state police and with our federal partners. As the mayor indicated, I think a couple days ago when we spoke together, I think he speaks for all of us. Our hearts go out to the family. We send them our well wishes, and we're praying for all of them.
Can you speak to the process that has to get done to open the Coppin Avenue exit?
Yes. You know, you asked that question over there, then you moved. You're going to get the same answer, man. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Mayor Kenny, quick question. I know the Commerce Department had gone to some of the businesses that have been impacted. The governor mentioned those businesses getting people back in. Does the city have any plans to help those businesses financially that have been impacted by the closure?
Well, the Finance Department, along with the Office of Commerce, are working on trying to figure out a plan. We haven't concluded it yet, but we're working on it. We recognize the pain that they're going through. We're going to try to do our best to address it.
Money available for that?
That's the Finance Department and Commerce are working on it now to try to identify what resources we might have available left over from other pots of money, and they're working on it. I'm very confident they'll find something.
You referenced this moment ago.
If I may, just hang on one second. I just want to, I'll come to your question one second, Rosemary. I want to add to this. PEMA, the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Authority, under the leadership of Randy Padfield, has also been working with the city to document the loss for these businesses. And if it rises to a certain level, they may qualify for some federal assistance. So we're in the process of working in concert with the city on that. I'm sorry, Rosemary.
On a much lighter note, you touched on this. The live stream is being viewed in bars across Philadelphia. Are you surprised by that?
I think, look, there's a sense of civic pride, I feel. Folks are cheering for us. They're cheering for these folks that work with Ryan Boyer and the rest of the Philly building trades every day. I'm proud that they're getting to see what I know about these guys, that they are the most excellent workers in the nation and that they bust their asses for us every single day to build our infrastructure. And so I'm excited that the public is seeing that. I must confess, I'm completely addicted to the live stream. I have it up on my phone, my iPad when I'm in the truck. I look at it first thing in the morning, at night. I'm constantly texting Boyer. There was one moment early on where the dump truck pulled away because it was full. The loader picked up a load of rebar, started turning around. I'm in my office in Harrisburg, in the governor's office, and I'm screaming at the television because there's no dump truck there. They're about to dump the rebar on the ground, and then just like a perfect, I don't know, like synchronized swim match or something, I don't know, it pulls up, the dump truck, they load the rebar in and they take it away. These guys know what they're doing. It is amazing for the public to see. I've loved watching it. It pumps me up, and it should pump up all of us to know that these guys are out there doing this hard work every day. I'm proud of the civic pride people feel, and I feel it too.
This is obviously not the first crisis we've dealt with this year, let alone the past few weeks and few months. I guess, how is everyone able to keep the energy up? And I was wondering, with the recent events you've dealt with in Philly, has this affected how you guys respond to future crises?
I think everybody here is a professional. We all have a job to do. From me and the mayor to Boyer and the tradespeople who are out doing the work, to the secretary. One of the things that we've all focused on here is recognizing each and every one of us has a job to do, and we've all gone out and executed. I'm a believer in my administration. I think we've infused this through our leadership team, and you can see it, Mayor Kenny's team and everybody here. No drama, absolutely no drama, no emotion. Focus on doing the job. Everybody performs their task, and you see the effect of that. Everybody coming together, doing their job, and we're going to have this road reopened this weekend. Thank you all very, very much.